Hi, I'm Chef Tomm. I'm a professional chef. I've trained all over the world. I've learned all kinds of culinary secrets, and now I'm going to teach them to you. So in this episode, we're doing General Tso's chicken. This again is a three-part process. The first process will be making the sauce. The second process will be the tenderizing process, and the third part would be actually cooking it. Now when I say mother sauce, it's kind of like our Western style mother sauces in the fact that with this one particular sauce, you can probably make hundreds of dishes off of that. So making the sauce is quick and easy. What I'm going to do is add our sugar, our soy sauce, dark soy sauce, black vinegar, rice wine, ginger, rice wine vinegar, Szechuan peppercorns, garlic, and white pepper. You can get the recipe for this on my website, cheftomm.com. So now what we want to do is take this and give it a quick stir. Make sure all ingredients get fully incorporated. You can use this right away, but it's really best to let it sit overnight. So one interesting things that the Asians do with their meat is they put it through a tenderizing process. This is actually a Chinese technique. Traditionally, this dish is done with chicken thighs, but I have chicken breast today. So what you want to do first is to kind of just cut your chicken up into nice sized chunks that you might use for this dish. This tenderizing process is again one of those techniques, kind of like the noodle technique, that was a little bit on the odd side for me when I first started messing with it, because what they do is they put baking soda in the meat, and the baking soda just pretty much tear down the connective tissues in the meat, making it nice and tender. That's why when you go to these Chinese restaurants and get the meat's always nice and tender, but they're using very inexpensive cuts. That's why Chinese food tends to be very cheap. So now we have our chicken. We want to drop our chicken into the bowl. And our first set of ingredients is be baking soda, white pepper, and salt. So since I'm using chicken breast, this is not too much of a process to worry about because it's always tender, but you want to just take this stuff up, mix it in, and if you're using chicken thighs, I really want to smash this down there a whole lot harder than I'm doing with this, but again, this is already tender for me, so I'm not too worried about. Next part of this, we're going to add the egg white. If we're using red meat, we use whole eggs, but since we're only using white meat, just the egg whites. So again, stir this in. Pretty much what we're doing is just making a batter all around this. Okay, so once that's nice and stirred in, I want to start adding my cornstarch. And the cornstarch in this, again, you want to have it like a nice batter consistency. Get a little water in here. So once it's nicely coated like it is right now, what I want to do with it is I'm going to put a little oil on top of this, and the oil is to kind of like seal everything in, hold everything into place. Normally, when you do all these processes, you want to wait overnight to use this, but again, the chicken breast you could probably use it right away, but that's it for the tenderizing process. Okay, now we have our chicken tenderized, we have the mother sauce made, we have our broccoli blanched, we have all our mise en place ready to go, so let's start cooking this. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of oil, drop into our wok. If you don't have a wok, use a saute pan, it'll be just fine. So get a little heat on this. garlic and ginger. We want to do the garlic and ginger. We want to stir it around and make it kind of aromatic. Don't burn the garlic. I wish you could smell this. Okay, now that's aromatic, we want to take 6 ounces of our mother sauce and drop that right in there. And stir this around a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of slurry in. Now what the slurry is going to do, it's a quick thickener which is made up of cornstarch and water. The reason I use this is speed. Once the sauce is thick, we're all set with it. I'm giving a little stir on the bottom just in case the slurry's sticking or it's not going in enough. So it needs just a little bit more slurry in there, so I'm going to drop a little bit more in there. Now, one of the things that the Chinese do, which I think is a really cool idea, I don't know if you ever worked with slurry before, what they do is they kind of just give enough heat to kind of make it thick, so when you're holding for an extended period of time, it doesn't fall apart. But now we have the proper thickness on the sauce, so I'm going to kind of let that sit there for a minute while I go on to cooking the meat. Okay, so now I'm going to take about 8 ounces of my chicken and I'm going to drop it into the wok. If you don't have a wok, you don't have a deep fat fryer, you can use a regular pan, but or a pot. Don't fill it more than a third of the way up, so you don't want it to overflow. When the chicken gets in there, you want to make sure you stir it around so you can break it up. So once chicken's done, simmer it for about 4 or 5 minutes, again at 350 degrees. What I want to do is take this chicken out. What I'm looking for on the chicken is color and time. 4 or 5 minutes should be more than enough to cook a chicken. If you have any doubts, take a piece of chicken, cut it in half, take a look at it. So now I have the sauce inside the wok for the chicken. You just want to take this, move that around, get the sauce nice and warmed up, get the broccoli all nice and seasoned along in there, and that's pretty much it for the dish. Let me get it plated up for you. Now everything's nice, cooked all the way through. Now it's time to plate this up. And that's General Tso's chicken. We're gonna make beef with broccoli. This again is a 3-part process. The first process, we make a mother sauce. This mother sauce today is a brown mother sauce. It's much different than Yushang. Flavor is totally different. Yushang is more like a sweet and sour. This is more just like soy-based mother sauce. So to make this, what you want to do is take your regular soy sauce, drop that in, your dark soy sauce, oyster sauce, sugar. You can find all these recipes at my website, cheftomm.com. Rice wine, and ketchup. You want to stir it up, get it all nice and mixed in. And there's another part to this process we have to do. We have some garlic, some ginger, some green onions, and some oil. What we want to do is give these a quick saute, get the aromatics coming out of that. So, put our ginger in. Let the flavors begin to come out of that. It's very aromatic. Garlic. And our green onions. So now, once it's all nice and aromatic, what we want to do is we want to add it into our sauce. Make sure this is all stirred in. Again, with all the sauces, it's best if it's used the next day, but if you have to use it the same day, not such a problem. So I'll put this aside for now. Now we got the sauce completed, we want to start working on the tenderizing process. This again is a really cool thing, just because they take inferior cuts of meat. This is a flank steak, and they use it for their dishes. And through this tenderizing process, this comes out tasting very, very soft, very delicate. So when you cut this, you want to cut it a little bit on a bias, a little bit of an angle, and the fairly thin strips. The cool thing about this process, using the baking soda again, just like we do with the chicken, it makes this extremely tender. When the restaurants do this, the first time I saw this being done was at a restaurant up in Fremont, and what had happened was the guy was doing 50 pounds meat at one time in a sink, and it was pretty interesting to see him. I wasn't sure if he was angry or, being in the kitchen, he was having a bad day, but he just took this stuff and pounded it out like no one's business. So now that we have our meat cut up, we want to start the process. So take all the meat, put it into our bowl. Start with the soy sauce, salt, baking soda. Baking powder will not work for this. White pepper. Okay, so now we start at this again. So I want to pick this up, stir this all up, make sure everything's mixed into it. And when this guy was doing this, it was in a 3-base sink, and he was just picking up as high as he could and just slamming it down. Very animated, very interesting. So you do this for a couple minutes, then add the next set of ingredients, which is water and cornstarch. Again, mixes all in really nice. Start doing it again. Do this for 3 or 4 minutes, then it's on the next step. Now this next step is kind of interesting because it's just straight water. When I first saw it, I said, why would they just put water in there? But watch, you'll see. So now as you can tell, the water, it's not on the bottom bowl. The meat's actually absorbing it back up, which will help with the tenderizing process. Okay, so now, since red meat, we're using a whole egg. Gonna put this together. The egg kind of puts a little coating on the outside of it, makes it a little crispy, along with the cornstarch. Again, you'll slap this around for 3 or 4 minutes. That'll work out great. And to finish it off, they always finish with oil. They believe that oil will kind of seal all the flavors inside. So we'll take oil, mix it in there, and when you do this process, it's really good. Let it sit overnight. For everything work really nice, it's really best to let that happen. So that's the end of our tenderizing process. We now have our mother sauce made. We have our beef tenderized. We have our broccoli rest for mise en place ready to go. So we need to work on one more thing with the mother sauce. This mother sauce is pretty much all soy sauce, so if you eat it now, it'd kill you, way too salty. So what we have to do with this, we have to start adding chicken stock to this till it tastes nice for us. Usually it's about anywhere from a half a quart to a quart, depending on how strong your tolerance is at, but wherever it is, that's what I want to do. So that's a quart for my taste. That's just about right for that now. The recipes that I've been showing you are restaurants you'll find in a typical Chinese restaurant here in the United States. The Chinese food in China is 100% different. This is not what that is. So we'll start by putting a little oil in our wok. Again, if you don't have a wok, feel free to use a saute pan. We want to take our garlic and our ginger and just saute these a little bit so they're really aromatic. So now we want to add 6 ounces of our brown sauce. We want to take a little bit of our slurry, drop our slurry in. And what we're looking for is the proper thickness of the sauce. All right, so now that we have the thickness of the sauce, that's really good right there. So we're gonna let that sit for a minute. And now we're gonna start with our beef. Now that the sauce is made, we wanna start with the beef. Right now I'm cooking on a wok. If you don't have another wok, you have a pan at home, you don't wanna fill it more than a third of the way up with oil and no hotter than 350 degrees. Drop a little of my beef inside there. And once the beef's in there, you just want to give it a little stir to kind of make sure it's breaking up. This will just take about 2 minutes tops. What we're looking for is the meat not to be red anymore. They have a nice golden brown color on the outside. Okay, now the beef's done. Nice color on that. What we want to do is take this off, put it right into our sauce. So again, once in the sauce, put a little bit of broccoli inside with it. And you just want to make sure stir this whole thing up. All you have to do is plate it up, and that's your beef with broccoli. Looks pretty damn good. I might think about becoming a chef one of these days. We're gonna make pot stickers. Now the filling itself, you can use any kind of filling you want. That's not the main point I'm working on today, but let's make the filling first. So we have our ground pork, ginger, garlic, dark soy sauce, green onions, light soy sauce, a little bit of sugar, rice wine, and sesame oil. So now all you want to do is mix all this stuff together. You have a nice mass. Now we'll set with a filling. Okay, so now we have our filling set. We have our pot sticker wrappers right here. What I'm gonna do is start filling these guys. I want about a spoonful, maybe a little bit more filling in these guys. Now the trick of this is you want to put water on one side. Then you just want to take this and make the two sides kiss. Once you have that, here's where the technique's gonna actually go into play. So what you wanna do, take your thumb, you wanna push up on that and push down with your next finger. So you have a nice pleat. Again, push up on the thumb, push down with your finger. Up and down. One side done. Next side, again, up, down, up, down, up, and down. Nice little button there. Off you go. Again, you want to put water on one side. And what you want to do is bring these two up, kind of like you would do a cannoli almost, and make them kiss just like that. You want to push up on that and push down with your next finger. So you have a nice pleat. Again, push up on the thumb. Next side. Again, up, down, up, down, up, and down. A nice little button there. Okay, so now it's time to cook the pot stickers. This is a pretty easy process. What you want to do is get your pan. You want to get it nice and hot. The reason why I call these pot stickers is because they actually stick to the pot. So your first part of the process is put your pot stickers in the pan. Get it nice and hot. What you want to do is have the bottoms of these guys brown. Just drop these guys down. So I'm doing these pot stickers now is I'm looking for color on the bottom of these. Once I get a little bit of color on them, then I can start the next part of the process, which is actually steaming them. Okay, so now I add my chicken stock, a little bit of soy sauce, drop a cover on that, get about 4 or 5 minutes till it's steamed out. Don't let the stock evaporate. If your start's getting too little, too low, add more into it. Those are doing nice. A little more stock. So a lot of people have problems with the pot sticker sticking in the bottom pan, and they're actually supposed to do that, but what you have a problem with is that they never release. Normally what happens is when you first put the chicken stock in and the soy sauce in, the steam from that will make them release. So when that happens, you only get a pan of shake, and make sure you have enough oil in the bottom of the pan to keep them from re-sticking. They re-stick again, I put a little more stock in there or a little water in there, give them a shake, they should be just fine. So now these pot stickers are all set. So I'm gonna put them down. And just to drizzle a little bit of sauce over the top of these guys. A little green onion. There's your pot stickers. That's a quick and easy way to make pot stickers. For the recipes, go to cheftomm.com. One of the best kept secrets in the culinary world is Chinese hand-pulled noodles. These hand-pulled noodles are something that's been eluding me for many years. It's a very difficult process. There's not too many people that do this in the United States or in the world. This is a really old school technique. I know how to do it. You want to learn? Visit me at cheftomm.com.